All right, welcome everyone to episode 43 of the Cosby Reads. I lied, Alondo. Before we started recording, I told Alondo I wasn't going to drink, but then this Irish whiskey is really good.
Oh, they got to do that. Got to get
Dude,
in.
have you tried this before? Dead,
No,
Dead Rabbit.
no.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it okay? Is that
Yeah,
common? Can you find it at ABC stores like that,
yeah. I
or
found it today.
no
Yeah,
kidding?
yeah. Distilled and matured in Ireland. It's finished in bourbon American oak barrels,
Oh, dude, you're speaking my language.
but it's an Irish whiskey finished
Cool.
in bourbon barrels, and it's
Got it. Okay.
Dead Rabbit.
Dead rabbit.
It's
Writing
good
it down
stuff.
right now.
If you want to sponsor us, I'll plug you every week and send me more bottles.
There you go.
Because it is St. Patty's Day, so I gotta go ahead and drink my Irish whiskey, even if it is a bourbon twist to it.
I love it though, man. I had a few whiskeys like finished in like sherry casks.
Mhm.
I had one finished in a port cask. They do some things. I like it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah. So anyway, good stuff. Yeah, I got it. I someone introduced me to it like a few weeks ago, and I guess about a month ago or so. I was at another friend's birthday party, his 40th birthday, and someone brought a bottle over, and I was like, "Oh, this is delicious." So
Good call.
I went to the store today to go buy beer for St. Patrick's Day, and all of the beer I wanted was sold out because it's St. Patrick's Day. But then I went next door to the liquor store, and like all the Irish whiskey was still there. I was like, "Come on, guys, you guys don't really know how the Irish do it, do you?"
No, they got no clue. They got no clue.
They don't know.
Uh-huh.
The Irish, they definitely like their whiskey more. It's was it the Great Fire of Dublin, where people died from alcohol poisoning, not from the actual fire itself?
I didn't know that. Okay, this is
Yeah.
news.
So, yeah, the Great Fire of Dublin. It was when was it? Now I'm gonna look it up because it's fun trivia.
Mhm.
Basically, one of the I think it might have been Jameson Factory, the Dublin Whiskey Fire. Let's see. It was in 1875
Uh-huh.
when, one of the distilleries caught fire and all the barrels started blowing up, and literally the streets were running with 6 inches of a river of whiskey running down the streets. There were no fatalities from the fire or smoke inhalation or burns, although there was some. All the deaths that happened that night, 13 people died, all from alcohol poisoning because people just
Drinking in the streets.
drinking straight from the street.
Wow. How in the world is it possible? Everything caught fire. There's all this whiskey in the streets and nothing ignited all that whiskey. How?
The 6-inch deep river of whiskey running through the street. Yeah, it's
Jeez, man.
and
What can you do?
it's the most Irish story in the entire world. Like
That is an Irish story if there ever was
13
one.
people died, all of alcohol.
It sounds like a Family Guy skit, you know.
Daniel Zool. No Will tonight. Will's under the weather. He texted me earlier today saying not feeling good, and I was like, okay, hope you feel better. So yeah, he might be actually in chat. I don't know. Sometimes he listens when he's not feeling good. So if you're there, Will, hi.
Yeah, man. Get better.
Get better. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Be back next week. Otherwise, yeah. As far as anything else for announcements, I've not really got anything else. Yeah, I'm just St. Patrick's Day today, so that's
Mhm.
got the shamrock over the fireplace over there in the background, and did a little. Had some people over for St. Patty's Day, and we drank and ate, and we're merry.
There you go.
Yep.
Well done.
Exactly. Well, you ready to hop right into these?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get in.
Did you like these chapters?
I got thoughts.
Okay. I'm interested then. Okay, let's do it.
Right.
So, chapter 50. Chapter 50. One can see Ruin's craftiness in the meticulousness of his planning. He managed to orchestrate the downfall of the Lord Ruler only a short time before preservation's power returned to the Well of Ascension. And then, within a few years of that event, even had freed himself. On the timescale of gods and their power, this very tricking timing was as precise as an expert cut performed by the most talented of surgeons. I guess if you live forever, like to actually do something like that precise,
Yeah.
it is pretty.
I mean, it is a confluence of things coming together, right? I mean, to create the situation in which, everything comes to pass. But yeah,
Right.
definitely some orchestration going on.
Oh yeah, that is
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
We'll get more into that. So yeah. So we start with this chapter. This chapter is all around Vin.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Vin is. When we left off Vin last time, the rock was being opened, but they didn't know who, and she's used up all the last of her allomancy files, so she doesn't have any more really allomancy left, and goes to the cave door, and then several people are up there. She tries to, use the last bit of her powers to try to escape through the trap door, but it's sealed. There's obviously weights on top, ain't getting
Mhm.
through. And yeah, one of the men who's dressed as a noble kind of sits down. It's like, it's no use. Come on, let's talk.
Yeah.
And Vin recognizes him. So let's start there. It's one of Ellen's friends. Or
Yeah, it's one of the guys that he was like having his like philosophic discussions with
right.
back at the balls and everything.
Yeah, not necessarily the best of guys. I mean,
Now,
obviously had a lot of ambition like Ellen, but like when it came down to like, even when she tried to call his bluff on like killing some of the servants, he's like, I didn't believe in the whole thing Ellen was all about. Like, I'm all about
yeah,
keep the Scott slaves. I don't
right.
care if you kill them. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
you could tell I mean, part of it's a bluff, obviously.
sure.
I mean, especially, by the end of the chapter, we find out it was definitely a bluff because
Mm-hmm.
they were like,
Yeah.
we were all about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like part of it was almost like a play. It was like almost like a replay of, that scene in The Princess Bride where they're talking about the poisoning and everything. It
Uh-huh.
reminded me of that scene so much,
It is.
So
But
yeah,
if you
so it's
know
like
that I know that you know that I
yeah,
know.
yeah, yep, the whole thing. So yeah, the thing with the wine and everything, I was like, okay, this is this is becoming interesting. And then her idea, uh, to try to burn Duralumin, to basically counteract the effects of the drug.
Yeah.
I found it interesting. I really thought it had a shot, to be dead
Uh,
honest with you. I was really thinking, I was like, there's a shot, this is gonna work.
yeah. I
Yeah.
really just thought it
He
was
didn't fall? Inconceivable.
Doable. That's right. I love that dude.
Princess Bride. I was like, oh, I got a Princess Bride clip.
Yeah, man, you got to have those. I mean, there's too many references in that
Yeah.
movie, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great. That's a great movie.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the whole ploy is that there's two bottles of wine, both of nice vintage. One is just a nice bottle, and
Right.
the other one's drugged. And Hastings just comes out and is like, "Yeah,
Wait, this was drugged.
yeah, this one's drugged. This one's cool.
Yeah,
I need you to drink the drugged one."
right.
And she's like, "Why would you do that?" And he's like, "Cause we don't have time to explain and try to convince you. Like, listen,
Yeah,
if you don't, we're all dead." So I mean, he doesn't play his cards that open, but he's like, "There's no other choice. Like, what we're gonna run out of food and we're gonna starve. So like,
yeah.
what choice do you have?"
Mm-hmm.
And she starts kind of going through it, thinking like, well, maybe I know if I use Peter, sometimes I can take away poison. So if I flare it with Duralum, maybe I can burn away at the, that kind of her logic. But
Yeah,
yep,
worth a shot.
worth a shot. Yeah.
It reminded me of that movie. It's the one where the guy. It's oh shoot, Kiefer Sutherland, and he wants to find out what happened to his girlfriend. And the guy's like, if you want to find out what happened to your girlfriend, you got to drink this. And he drinks it, and then he wakes up in the actual coffin.
Yeah.
That and I feel like it was like that scene. I was like, you're gonna drink this stuff, and you don't know where you're gonna wake up. So
Yeah.
anyway,
That's always rough.
yeah.
Yeah, the time we got roofied.
Oh yeah. Definitely a roofie situation here. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah. So note people out there: do not drink anything that's going to drug you. I don't care if it's by choice or not.
I
It's
mean,
never going to be a good thing.
so I mean, I've had a drink that was drugged. I'm not sure what it was, but I mean, I blacked out. First drink of the night. I was with friends and we were able to get out of there. And I don't think the drink was meant for me. This wasn't for this beautiful face. I think it was a misplanting.
Ugh. So that's actually good that it hit you then, so it didn't hit the whoever
Right.
the person was. It
Yeah.
wasn't. Man,
It was gross. So I'm like, oh man, like I'm never going back to that bar again. I have no idea who did it, what happened, but yeah, it's definitely.
Wow.
We're all drinking at a table and we all left at the same time to go outside and like hang on the patio and left drinks on the table because we were just going out there for a quick second.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like when we all smoked cigarettes. I think we were going for a cigarette or something like that, like back in the day.
Wow.
You know, and just left. You know, it's like something where they didn't have ABC off, where you couldn't take the drinks with you. So we just all left on the table and came back, and yeah,
Jeez,
we were in a co-ed mixed group. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was a case of wrong glass. But
you know, weirdly enough, you just reminded me. I was at a bar one time by myself, and this woman got up and left her drink, and she asked me to look at her drink to watch her drink for her. I was like, "You don't even know me." I was like, "Why would you ask me? You don't know me." I was like, "Fine. I mean, I'm a good guy." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll look after your drink for you." But I was like, "Do I look that innocent and harmless?" Okay, sure.
Alondo the puppy dog.
I guess so.
You're that really trusting face.
Right. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, it was a rough night. We ended up getting a cab and get a cab home. I don't remember any of that.
I was gonna say, do you remember any of it? I assume probably not, right?
No.
Jeez.
I just know the next day that's what happened.
So they probably just carried you around until you got home then.
Yeah, a friend left with me. They ordered a cab and left my car there and then got me home.
Jeez. Maybe you were the target. Maybe they like wanted to extort you or something like that.
This was back like college years. So like there's no money to have.
You never know. People just think. I mean, and what we think is no money to somebody might be like some money.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I was pretty broke. But anyway. Yeah.
Oh well.
Who knows? Maybe just trying to rob me, steal my wallet, get the credit cards. I don't know. People do all sorts of stuff for next to nothing.
For far less too. So yeah.
Sure. Who knows? I know it was a long time ago. It was really weird. It was scary. I don't think I've been back there to that bar ever again. So
well, I'm glad that happened to you, man. Yeah. Crazy.
As far as I know, I don't really remember. As far as I was told. And I've been blackout before just from being blackout drunk. And that's a whole different thing. And I've had times like that where I have like complete blackout. Like don't remember anything from the night. But that was because of copious amounts of alcohol, not the
right. Holy cow.
Anyway, so Vin feels the drugs start to kick in right away. She burns some Duralum and some pewter. She feels like a real jolt up, like it's working, and then it immediately wears off. She's like,
because she feels it kind of going away, the effect going away. But then she said it kind of overtakes.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like anesthesia. Like the way she describes it, the way Brandon Sanderson wrote this, because like every time I've ever been put under, I always try to fight it. And it's like it's just like this. Like I'm gonna stay awake.
Oh yeah.
Like I wake up and I'm in the recovery room. I'm like, and I didn't do it.
I have never been under like with anesthesia. I mean, I've had like the localized stuff, but I've never been under because I still got all my wisdom teeth, all that kind of stuff. So I've never had major surgery. So I keep wondering, am I gonna be the one guy that's gonna be like, just like you just said? I'll be like the one guy who can fight through it and stay.
Yeah, I've been under several times before, and every time I go under, I try to,
hang on as long as you can.
Yeah, try to count back from 10. I usually get to about 9, 10. Nah,
you're already out. That's hilarious.
And then I wake up and I'm in a recovery room, like, oh man, what happened? Crap, it's over. I didn't make it that far at all. Like it's because you watch them put it in. They have like the big tube and they inject it and like it's into your IV and they take the big thing and they just push it down like and night. It's best sleep you'll ever have.
Oh really?
Do
they still do the mask sometimes too, or is that happen? Okay, so it's all intravenous now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just for at least me. Yeah, it was all through the IV.
Got it.
And yeah, I don't know. It's good sleep. You're out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Don't care about anything at that point.
Right.
So anyway, yes, falls unconscious, and that's how we kind of end this chapter. We'll come back in a bit. All right, ready for chapter 51? Anything from this in your notes, or anything you wanted to talk about from?
No, I've gotten a little lazy about taking good notes now.
Okay.
So because usually I'm more interested in like my take, my like feelings about the chapter than I am about like whatever. And I know how I feel emotionally. I keep just checking my notes. I'm like, I remember all this stuff, so I'm like, there's no reason for me to take notes anymore. So I just stopped.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You just want to deal on all feelings.
Yeah. So I just unload all my feelings here.
Yeah.
All my gripes. And the good stuff too, by the way, just to clarify. There's good stuff on it.
All feelings, no emotions, right?
Oh yeah. There you go. Yes. No, I feel a way about things. And there's the end of the sentence.
All right. 51. Once Ruin was free from his prison, he was able to influence people more strongly. But impaling someone with a hemalurgic spike was difficult no matter what the circumstance. To achieve such things, he apparently began with people who already had a tedious grip on reality. Their insanity made them more open to his touch, and he could use them to spike more stable people. Either way, it's impressive how many important people Ruin managed to spike. King Penrod, ruling Luthor at the time, was a very good example of this.
Yeah, I mean that's good foreshadowing. I was like, this is like right now. I was like, oh crap! I thought it was gonna be something like back in the day. And it's like, it's like King Penrod. I was like, Penrod.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the fight chapter where Ellen just goes into this Colossus army that's attacking the city, and
this Joker goes berserk.
Just goes straight Kill Bill. Just I don't know what analogy you want, but just John Wick. He goes John Wick on the Colossus and just starts killing everything. It just so nonchalant about it at this point.
Yeah.
And turns off the emotions and just I mean, he's thinking philosophically about it the entire time, but like not even caring, just why won't you guys just get under my control? Like, how many more of you have to kill? And like, there's just bodies piling up around him.
And he's like exploding like coins everywhere. It just, I mean, it sounds like horrific, And then when everything's done, it's like people are just sitting there, just like staring at him, just like, it's like their buildings are burning down behind him, and all they're doing is just staring at him like in awe. I mean, it had to be a sight, though. This guy just laying siege to these guys. It had to be a sight. And he was talking about how, he couldn't imagine how Vin could do it. And then here it is. He's just like, I don't remember the numbers, 300, something like that he killed, or however many.
He got them bringing back to Vin killing 300 people.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, but I don't know how many. I don't know how many calls he killed. I mean, there's at least 10,000 of them.
Yes, 10,000 in this group.
But he's trying to kill just enough to get control.
And he wanted to call out the
Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor that was going to be But then it's like the Inquisitor.
Do you think there ever was an Inquisitor?
That was a great question, because I was sitting there wondering. I was like, okay, whose control are they under? And if there was an Inquisitor, why would the Inquisitor bug out?
If it wasn't an Inquisitor, who would it be?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have a guess at that time. Did they say what the village was? I don't remember
the name of the village.
Yeah,
they might have.
I don't remember. So
I can go pull the book up and look.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I didn't. If they did say it, it wasn't enough to to trigger a memory.
Chapter 51. Fifth of the Mist. He's trying to use the horseshoe trick. Never could master it. Blah, blah,
right.
He gets to the Hughes copper clips. He pushed himself to the vegetable behind him. He was worried about what to do with Fadrix. I'm just going through and see if there's any mention of a name of the city in here.
Okay.
I don't see one.
Okay.
I mean, I think he just said it was a small
village, right?
A small village.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that it didn't say a village didn't help clue me in to like anything where I'm like, okay, the Inquisitor might be blah 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 person or something like that. So I had nothing to guess about. I feel like there had to be an Inquisitor because it just seems so random otherwise that they would just like pick on this town. Unless of course they were being the only other thing I kept thinking that the whole time is like, well, what if there was no Inquisitor and what if they were all being led there by Ruin? That's the only other thing I thought at the time, but that's just I feel like that's a throwaway answer. I feel like it's probably something a little bit more direct there, but I didn't have anything more to add than that.
Cool. Anything else from this? I mean, eventually she does. She does. I can't think of it. Ellen does push Duralaman push. Thank you.
Yeah.
And takes control.
Right.
And then he returns back to his camp with his new army
because
they're trying to accelerate this attack on Fadrix.
Right.
So, yep. Anything else from all this?
No. Good action.
Yeah.
Actually, the only thing I remember though at the beginning of the chapter, I feel like he was kind of like emo, woe is me kind of talking, and so I really liked the fact that he flipped and he went into like beast mode. And I was like, great. I was like, because he started kind of sounding a little mopey and whatever at the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah.
And then he like just flip switch, and I was like, okay, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Going through. Does it affect your opinion at all, knowing that they're human now? That he's killing all of them?
There's something he says about the fact that each basically they become two, right? With every dead person.
Oh, it's 5 people make one colossus.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, so you have one person you're spiking, and then you have 4 spikes. Each spike's killed. So you have to kill 4 people and the 5th person to make the colossus. So it's 5 total.
So, but he talked about the numbers and stuff, and I was like, yeah, you forget that we're in a situation where they create more colossus with the bodies, so you really need to take these colossus out.
Yeah.
So again, that was like that was interesting to know because I forgot about that. That impact. So.
Yep. And then we move to my boy. Chapter 52. TenSoon. No.
Go ahead. You can start with the epigraph. Go ahead with the epigraph.
Okay.
We'll get to your boy.
Near the end, the ash began to pile up in frightening amounts. I've spoke of the special microbes that the Lord Ruler devised in order to help the world deal with ash falls. They did not feed on ash really. Rather, they broke it down to an aspect of their metabolic functions. Volcanic ash itself is actually good for the soil, depending on what one wishes to grow. Too much of anything, however, is deadly. Water is necessary for survival, yet too much you'll drown. During the history of the Final Empire, the land balanced on the very knife edge of disaster via the ash. The microbes broke it down as rapidly as it fell. But when there was so much of it that it was oversaturating the soil, it became more difficult for plants to survive. In the end, the entire system fell apart. Ash fell so steadily that it smothered and killed. The world's plant life died off. The microbes had no chance of keeping up, for they needed time and nutrients to reproduce.
Yeah.
It's a long epigraph.
Yeah, but I mean, the science checks out. I mean, because it's like too many plankton in areas of the sea.
Yeah.
That basically what does it create? Like a plankton bloom can actually like
a red algae.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, algae bloom.
Yeah, and so it can cause all kinds of like issues.
Well, it sucks up all the oxygen.
Yep. And so basically, no sea life lives in the area, and then it also can obscure the light, so sunlight can't even get through and penetrate. So it kills the plant life underneath.
Fish just wash it down shore.
So basically, you just have like this dead area of the sea. Yep. So it's the same kind of thing. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it happens a lot because of fertilizer runoff. That's what causes the algae blooms. Because
Oh yeah.
normally it doesn't have enough things to feed on
Uh-huh.
to to get to that size. But then
Okay.
after and they try to prevent this, but farmers put tons of fertilizer out for their fields, and then rains, and then a lot of that runs into rivers, and that washes downstream, and now the algae have a ton of fertilizer to eat, and they can.
Okay. I didn't know it's from fertilizer. Okay.
Yeah, it's what a lot of it's
crazy.
from. It's
Oh, wow.
fertilizer.
No
Mhm.
kidding. Jeez.
It's us. It's always us. It's always
Oh yeah, of course it's us. We're the
Yeah.
assholes of the earth. We know it.
Yeah. But fertilizer are just trying to grow our plants faster. It also happens to grow algae faster too.
Yeah. Got it.
Kind of makes sense. But
Yeah.
consequences, action, consequence. I'm
Yep.
teaching to my kids. My kids are like 4 and 6. I have to teach them action, consequence.
Right.
Right. You do this, your Pokemon cards get taken away. Action, consequence.
There you go. I keep
Sorry.
watching videos, by the way. People and I mean, some of these old Pokemon cards go for like $10,000 and stuff.
Dude,
And I'm like,
it's insane.
it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I was never into Pokemon. My kids were into Pokemon back when they
Yeah.
were like young, but I'm sure none of their cards were like worth like money. But still, it's just interesting to me that
Yeah. I mean, it's only so. I mean, if the kids like the only way they're worth that much is if like you bought the decks and immediately put them into like sealed cases, sealed cases and stuff like that. And never took them out and never like because they're only for the highest graded ones. So
right, of course, yeah. It's like comic books, same thing.
Yeah, even out of the packet though, like just by taking out the packet, you can damage it enough that it's not getting a perfect grade. So it's,
Right.
I mean, the same companies that do the comic books, like PSA does a lot of the cards. Which I think they do comic books too.
Yeah, because I know Beckett is one of them.
Yeah.
PSA, right? That's one I've heard of.
Yeah.
I think CGC is getting into card and video game. They're creating video games now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
There was one. I think it was like a Pawn Star episode or something like that, where the guy had like a unboxed Super Mario Brothers, like original Super Mario Brothers, still in the original factory package.
Oh yeah, so, like sealed, like the plastic sealed and stuff was.
Yeah, plastic sealed box, display box.
Wow.
And like they didn't buy it because like they didn't know how. Like they had some guy comment praises, like, yeah, I don't know how to praise this. Like,
oh wow,
this would be this is the only one that's there enough that's unboxed. Like, it's one, so I don't know how to price it. Like,
right. Oh, it was like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like a first edition, never taken out of the packaging, still sealed in its original, never used, never played.
Wow.
Like Super Mario Brothers NES game. Like, and it's like,
no kidding.
How do you? I don't know. Like, how much is it worth?
Yeah. And that's the thing, though, too. I mean, these guys with the retro systems and stuff, I mean, they have really driven the market up and how much you have to pay for this stuff. Because I thought about getting a Nintendo. I was like, I'm going to get a Nintendo. I looked at how much it costs just to replace those cartridges, to get them cartridges. Crazy expensive, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what? They sold new for like $60, right?
Right.
So you're thinking, oh, I can probably get it for like $10, something like that. Nope, like $300 for some of the best games.
But you can just buy an emulator and play all the games.
Right. And that's the thing. So now I'm like, well, I think that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down and just get an emulator.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just so I can avoid paying that much money. But then you gotta download all the ROMs and all that kind of stuff. I'll get around. I'll figure something out.
You can put it on a flash drive or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'll find something.
Anyway, you ready for TenSoon?
Yeah, let's get into your boy.
Have you still not warmed up to him yet? You're still no. He has no redemption arc for you, does he? Like,
he's trying. I see what he does in this chapter. He's trying.
Slowly putting some tiny roots in to you, trying to break you down.
Yeah, no. He's trying.
Okay.
Look, I want to hear him one time just say he's sorry. If he says he's sorry,
who's gonna say it to? Like, no one's abandoned his apology.
I want him to like in the book. I want him to turn and look directly at the reader and go, "I'm sorry."
Sorry. Break the fourth wall.
I want to break the fourth wall and just like turn directly to me and be like, "I'm sorry."
Oh, well, you're being surprised when next chapter it says TenSoon turns to Alondo and says, right. "I'm sorry, dude."
It's in the audiobook.
It's not. It was all foretold.
All foretold. That's right.
All right. TenSoon goes to Luthadel. He's trying to find Vin, and gets there, and everything is pretty much crap. He goes,
man.
he goes to first to keep Venture, and he's like, "Hey, where, our first goes to keep Venture. This is before he gets the body, and just eavesdrops on the guards,
Right.
but doesn't learn anything from that.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I just can't go around talking to people like a dog because that's not going to work.
All right.
So he goes to find where Orseo's bones are, but he also finds Kelsier's bones. And he's like, well, let's try something new.
Right.
Or old.
Because he knows what Orseer knows, right?
But for the most part, yeah.
Right. So that's the reason why he knew the Kelsier's bones are going to be there. Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So he puts on Kelsier's form and returns back, and I mean, immediate
nice.
like what?
Right. I just saw Zool's. I'm sorry, Zool. I missed all of your comments, by the way, until just now. And then I happened to see the one pop up. I'm sorry, Alondo. Okay, yeah. I appreciate you apologizing on behalf of TenSoon. But look at the bones. We did miss that. We missed the.
He can leap about. Look at the bones.
There you go. We missed it. Thank you, Zool, for keeping us honest.
Look at the bones. Yes. There are bones. So yeah, it's Kelsier's bones, and Kelsier's back, in both Spook's head and in TenSoon's Contra form.
Right. So,
yeah. But it's interesting because the hair's all gone, so he can't reform the hair. So
right.
He's a bald Kelsier.
So he's
These bones are old. These are old bones.
Right. Bald Kelsier.
These old bones.
I mean, maybe that makes him even more of a spiritual entity to people if they see him like that.
Yeah.
I thought of him as a monk version of Kelsier, basically.
Yeah.
But
he goes, back to the guards, and they see him, and then they see the scars on the arms, and immediately like kneel down, like he's returned.
Right.
Like I mean, and they're all members of the Church of Survivors, so like this is God coming to them.
Right.
So, and he starts asking tons of questions about King Penrod and the condition of the city, and Ellen's whereabouts and Vin's whereabouts, and they're like, we don't really know, but we want to help you. We really do want to help you. Like,
yeah. And he's really good about the way he asks the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's getting information, and he's really putting on this this regal, affected way of talking. So that way, it's it sounds like somebody who's come back and has this kind of air to themselves. So he plays the part pretty well. Give him credit for that.
Yeah. Did you see something good about TenSoon?
I said something good about him. Yeah.
Oh wait, we need some cheers. Actually, I need a little gift for.
I gotta give him credit. I mean, and again, I'll give him credit for two things. I'll give him credit for this scene because he does a good job with these, kind of carrying it off. It sounds legit. And then the second thing is trying to encourage the people when he starts talking to them, about the fact that the city's going to chaos, and he's trying to encourage them to
seek shelter.
So he's trying to put them on the path to save themselves. So I give him credit for that too.
He also learns that Penrod's gone insane.
Oh yeah.
Keep talking.
But we already knew that because of the last epigraph, so we knew what was getting ready to happen. So I was like, oh, that was a really cool. Yeah. Not even foreshadow. It was it was right there, right there in the epigraph. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And the guards also think that Ella might be in Orto. He learns that. But that's really vague. Of course, he's not in Orto. He's in Patrick City, and says it's in Orto. So
people don't know quite. I mean, again, there's an telegraph or something. They don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna go off of what they've heard
exactly
recently. So
yeah. And then back at the church, when he's trying to change back into the dog form, that's when he runs into a group of people that come in, and they're like, "Holy crap!" and more. And he basically, does give a good message to them, saying hey, listen, bad things are coming. So you gotta go seek shelter. Find some cavern. Get underground.
Yeah, get underground. Yeah,
get underground.
He says something about wait until the ash. No, until the mist clears.
Yeah, mist clears.
Yeah. So he's
seek shelter underground. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, then he changes back to wolf body and heads for Arto, taking Kelsier's bones with him, just so
Right.
he'll have a So
Yeah.
interesting.
Good move on his part. Make sure they take the bones, because man, you don't know when that might save something. Who knows what? But
Right. Yeah. All right. Anything else from that chapter?
nope.
We're going fast tonight without Will.
Well, and I feel like these chapters, these first few chapters, they're pretty straightforward chapters. There's not really a lot of interpretation here. It's like this action thing
these
happened.
are kind of a bridge chapter.
They're straightforward. There's not like a whole bunch of like mystery or anything related to them. It's like, this is what happens. There is nothing more that needs to be said. He picked up the bones. He used them to look like Kelsier. Boom. There you go.
How does he carry the extra bones? Is it a flesh pocket? I think he explains it that he carries it by just like throwing it onto his back or something. Or maybe he carries it in his mouth. He has a bag full of bones.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's like a bag of antlers. It's a bag of bones.
Got to do a bag of antlers.
This bag of bones.
Right. And of course, obviously he couldn't put all the bones in his flesh like he did with like the vials.
Yeah,
too big. Stuff like that. So
he has a giant tumor just hanging off his back.
Boom, there it is.
He's like the hunchback.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's like the hunchback of Notre Dame. Wolf, just like decrepit. He basically just takes on a Mistwraith form and starts like kind of like dilapidately like crawling towards Arto.
The blob.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's my headcanon now. So take it for what it is. Chapter 53. Are we at 53 already? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, 53.
All right.
50. Are we at 53?
Yep.
Okay. 51. Yeah, I guess we are. Okay. Yep.
We'll
get 5. Yep. And we're up to 54. Yep. So we're at 53. Yep.
Yep. All right. 53. Oh wait, I need to get something else. Keep talking. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Gotcha.
Never mind. I got it.
I'm looking at dual stuff with the bones. I haven't been dropping. I haven't been dropping no East. That's from Lord of the Rings, right? I haven't been dropping no East. Yeah. There you go. A Fellowship of the Ring. That's right. Sam. I think it's Samwise
Gamgee. Yep.
Says it. Yep. And then how does he carry extra bones in a flesh pocket? Yeah, flesh pocket. That's what we're gonna go with. Flesh pocket or bag of bones in the back. There you go.
Yeah. One of those two. Chapter 53. The pact between preservation and ruin is a thing of gods. It's difficult to explain in human terms. Indeed, initially there was a stalemate between them. On one hand, each knew that only by working together could they create. On the other hand, both knew they would never be able to never have complete satisfaction in what they created. Preservation would not be able to keep things perfect and unchanging, and ruin would not be able to completely destroy. Ruin, of course, eventually acquired the ability to end the world and gain the satisfaction he wanted. But then, that wasn't originally part of the bargain.
Yeah, so why would Ruin want to destroy the world is the question.
So this goes back to the philosophy of gods, and when you have and I was watching something the other day about like permanence and stuff like that, and at some point to like what would make the best scenario for whether it's life after death or whatever, would it be creating a utopia? Would heaven be the best answer, or would it be reincarnation, or would it be nothing, or would it be simulation theory, or like what would be the most ideal? And this person in the video is not trying to get religious with it. Just take all the different concepts that people have come up with, and then think of like what would be the best like in tier system form. And what he kept coming back to is like think about utopians. So eventually, if you're cognitive, you just get bored eventually.
Right.
If you have eternity to learn everything and do everything, doesn't matter what it is. If I do anything, I can like something a whole lot. Eventually get bored of it.
Right.
Like I can't do it forever. And the thing is, if you have eternity, you get bored with everything. Like,
right.
But the idea to be able to destroy and then recreate, destroy and recreate, destroy and recreate actually is a better tier. Like, and nothing in this world is permanent. I mean, this earth will not be here forever. This galaxy will not be here forever. The sun will not be here forever. Like there is an end date to all of it.
Right. And I've heard this theory talked about, that whole concept talked about numerous times, and now people even refer to it as the Matrix theory or the Matrix.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called, Matrix something, because that's the whole premise of the Matrix, right? Is that this utopia was created and then humans rejected it,
right?
And so they kept having to just basically destroy it, recreate, destroy, recreate.
So I think what TenSoon is trying to get at this is the preservation and ruin together. They're complement each other because one's trying to create a perfect, and the other one's trying to destroy it. And by working together, you're creating this bargain, this stalemate of destruction and recreation, and that actually works better for life,
right,
than the alternative. So
yeah,
like I said, very philosophical, and this is thinking in the way of gods and not in the way of mere mortals that will be on this planet for maybe 80, 100 if you're lucky.
Yeah, right.
That's
yeah.
It's when you're talking about millennium of years,
right? And again, I was listening to that, and I just kept thinking yin and yang the whole time. I was like, it just feels like it's just yin and yang. The two parts of that circle, and they're just like kind of circling around each other, keep each other in like basic balance. And And there's astrophysics theory. I mean, like the Big Rip, like eventually an expansion of the universe will go on to the point where nothing's left. The universe will just cool down, and then there'll be nothing. Well, yeah, because it's expanding.
That's a theory. There's also that there'll be eventually a contraction, and that's another theory that eventually stop and then go back reverse. But that theory doesn't look plausible right now, at least in our little 100-year look at it, because it's not like we've been looking at this research and stuff for more than 200 years tops.
Right.
So who knows whether or not, I mean, right now it's accelerating. We don't know why.
Right.
But yeah. So maybe Ruin wins eventually and everything gets destroyed and there's nothing left. And that's, and Ruin finds, I mean, he talked about that to Vin, the beauty of completion, that to destroy everything completely and to have an ending.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beautifulness and destruction and finality.
Ruin just needs a girlfriend. That's all.
Ruin just needs to get laid.
He just needs a little booty. He'll be all right.
He's been reading too much Sylvia Plath. He's just very down.
Oh no, Sylvia Plath. Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Everyone's dying.
Everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Oh my goodness. Sylvia Plath.
So there you go.
That's that whole set of emo writers back then, man. I love them though. They were like that whole just, oh man, the world sucks and I'm on the edge and love it.
I think it's still this plot that you're born and then you start dying. Like that was one of the things that she always anyway. Yeah. So.
Didn't she have an influence on Hemingway too?
Yeah, I think so.
She kind
very much
so
he was everything
because he was already the war and all this stuff that he had been through. He was already in a bad place, and then he meets her. I'm like, oh no, you talking about the worst two personalities to come together.
And Ruin just read a lot of their late works and just got down on himself. It was like, I just want to destroy everything now.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
He needs a hug. That's what he needs.
Yep. Again, a hug and some booty. He'll be all right.
All right, we're Spook. So Spook's talking with Deldra, who tells him that she's half Ska, and that she was going to be. She told her the whole backstory. She was going to be executed, but was saved when the Fire Empire was overthrown. Like she was actually caught, was getting ready to be executed, and and the final empire fell apart and no one really knew what to do. So there's I guess we're not doing this anymore. Okay.
Oh, okay. Question. Because I don't know if I glossed over or listened to it too quickly or something. She was going through the whole thing about her father, and was it her father was supposed to be with somebody else and then he ended up with a Ska woman? Chose a Ska woman instead. I can't remember that part.
Yeah, but I think he kept I don't know. Let's see if we can find it.
I feel like I might have glossed over it too much, and then I thought about it after the fact. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, what? Was he betrothed to somebody, or was she just saying it in generalities? I didn't catch it.
Let's see. She said, "No, the Lord Ruler. I was a good little nobleman. I always gave my payments to the obligators." Okay, that's not it. Sometimes I wished they would take me over. I had to do what? I don't know. I don't remember the top of my head. Someone might be able to correct me.
No worries. You know how it is with the audiobooks. When I'm listening to it, to go back and pinpoint a particular thing is a little tougher than if I had the book and I could just like flip back a couple pages.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember exactly what it was either.
And it's not a big deal. I don't think it's probably really germane to like any major story points or anything.
Let's say, why would okay, here it is. My father wanted a child so desperately. My mother was barren.
Okay.
He had two children with another maidservant. My mother and my mother approved. It's like, why would he do something like that? And I was like, I mean, why not pick a noble woman? No, my father chose a servant woman. I guess he fancied her or something. Yeah.
There it is. Okay, yeah. So that part, I was like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
And
so it was his mom. His mom was barren, and so it was kind of like Midwife's Tale type thing, where his wife, his wife actually approved of him doing
this. And like you said, it's like Handmaid's Tale, right? So it's like she basically was kind of given the blessing for him to lay with the ska woman that she had obviously.
And then that's where that Spook's like, well, why didn't you just pick another widow woman, like just leave her and go with someone else? And it's like, I guess he liked the maidservants, I guess, you know.
Or maybe that would have been too much of a challenge to the wife. You know, because I mean, then it would be like, oh well, divorce and remarry. Maybe that's a reason too. I mean, I can see that being something she'd be worried about.
Yeah, true. Then Beldra actually tells Spook that he's like Quillian, which Spook's like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
no.
Spook was not having that.
Nope. And they get to talking a little bit about the life of Kelsey's crew and Sazed and Breeze, and they're talking about how, just how things were. And telling her that although he's giving orders right now, he's not really in charge. Tells her all that. He's talking a lot of stuff.
Right. He seems like, and was this the part where he kind of gets a little offended that it said that Sazed's like commanding him? And and he's like, Sazed doesn't command me. He's a more of a what does he say? A
scholar.
Scholar. Thank you. Yeah. And
so
he takes offense to that. I'm trying to think of the other thing that he said that I found interesting.
Yeah. It's a really interesting.
Oh, it was she begs for him not to kill
Quillian. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, and he says, the purpose of this of what Vin and Ellen are trying to do is to save the city, like from the bigger problem that's out there, the mists and everything going on, and ruin.
Right.
And we won't necessarily hurt Quill if we don't have to, but he's kind of in our way.
And he's also kind of an ass.
Yeah, he's kind of an ass about it too. So I don't know if he's gonna kill himself over this. Like if he just stepped aside, he would not die. Like
right,
not at all.
But he's actually actively killing people, and killing people that even shouldn't be killed just because he's just trying to be he's just being an ass.
Sure,
right?
And he's in power, which that's hard to. It's very rare where people give up power once they have it.
Right. How many times does that happen? Where it's like, I promise I'm going to give up the power after blah, blah, blah. And then it comes time to give up power. It's like, I need to keep the peace by keeping this power. You're like,
There's a few people throughout history that did it.
And they are so rare. It's like the 0.00.
George Washington's actually one of them. Because they actually tried to give him like make it permanent.
Like an emperor for life, basically. Yeah.
And he refused.
Yeah. So.
I mean, he had other skeletons in his closet about other stuff, but he did do that. There's been a few.
They exist. Absolutely,
they exist. It's rare, but it happens. And it's one of those things where someone was saying like America is one of those really interesting things where every 4 to 8 years we have a peaceful transition of power.
Yep.
Or in the modern world, it's pretty rare. I mean, there are a lot of countries.
Rare.
Yeah,
we are
And
we
now
are
Western civilization is very common, but back in the 1700s, it was really rare.
Yeah.
When America was first founded, it was
Yep.
extremely rare. But I mean, I guess you had the British Parliament, but the kings, the monarchies. I mean, I guess it was after the Magna Carta, but they still had a lot of power then.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you think about King George and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I have to go back and look at my British history. Maybe our British listeners can inform me, include me.
And I used to be all up on top of that, and then at some point in time, I just said I'm not paying attention to this anymore because it's just kind of I don't understand why we pay so much attention to British history, and the monarchies and all that stuff, and we ignore so many other leadership chains throughout history that are just as well. They do intersect a lot, though. I mean, I will say that about British monarchies, they intersect so much with Spain, even Russia. There's like so much stuff that.
They're all interbred. Yeah, that's.
They all and this cousin and blah 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 is it set up this thing and they went to the Netherlands and took over this thing and this person was able to rule France because
there is something called the Habsburg chin. Because
yes, I love every time they do a depiction of that in animation. It's always just like this huge, just like bulbous thing. I love it.
I mean, it's a direct product of inbreeding. That's what it is. But the Habsburgs that ruled Austria, the whole Roman Empire for hundreds of years.
Does it have a dimple in it too?
I think I don't know.
I can't remember that part, but I know they always show it. It's like
a gigantic chin, and yet, like its jaw couldn't even work well. It was one of the Habsburgs that had it really bad, but a lot of them had it. Anyway.
Right? Yeah, they probably had that click jaw thing.
Yeah,
that's right. They probably couldn't. Yeah. What is that called when you have that little click? It's like to something. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So anyway, after this whole talk and saying that he won't harm Quillen if he doesn't have to, he leaves to go out the city. Spook goes out of the city. He goes to his trade contacts, and then to Dern to just talk about helping people clean up the canals, and make sure that people aren't drowned if they're refilled. Like he's trying to spread the word.
Right.
Spook and Dern then go to various taverns and meet with town folk. Just to kind of keep up Spook's reputation. So he gets kind of paraded around with Dern. So they're trying to spread these rumors.
I mean, and he's doing it. I mean, Spook is looking like a deity, right? I mean, he's got these amazing capabilities. He's got the wrap over the eyes. I mean, he really is playing a good role.
What do you think will happen when TenSoon gets to Orto?
Okay, so if he puts on the Kelsier bones, right, that's going to be really weird. Because I mean, and by the way, let's give so much credit to Will for these theories he's been putting out. The earring theory, great. If you've been a recipient of hemorrhagy, regardless whether it's purposeful or not, that it makes you much more susceptible to ruin. Good job, Will. Every time. Yeah, you're doing a good job on that. I feel like if Kelsier shows up, in the TMJ, that's what that is. There you go. Thank you. But if Kelsier shows up and Spook is there and
Quelio, who's doing everything against Kelsier's name.
Yeah, and then I don't know what kind of relationship TenSoon and Spook have. I don't know I don't think they have any. So that's gonna be very, very weird, right? Because obviously TenSoon Kelsier, we'll call him Kelsier.
Not ruin Spook's mental Kelsier shadow thing talking to him.
TenSoon, if he comes up in that form, he's not going to bless either or, which is going to be a problem for both of them. And then what happens to Spook's mental state in that moment where he's like, but Kelsier has been talking to me, but now there's a different Kelsier. Man. And remember, we just read the thing about mental states, how susceptible you become to ruin if you have
I mean,
mental issues.
Spook has a rough trauma history. I mean, he's,
Yes,
he's
exactly. Which is the same thing that happened. Now we're figuring out with Vin,
right.
which is why he's been using her brother this entire time through the little accidental hemorrhagy, through the earring, and then we're finding out that Ruin's been there the whole time, parrot on the shoulder, and not looking good.
No.
But interesting that mental illness is playing so much of a place in this book, and we didn't even know that was going to happen.
Yeah,
that's been good. I like seeing that unfold.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we end the chapters, just with taking Spook on tour.
Yeah. World tour.
Yep.
Gotta do it.
So we get to the final chapter for tonight.
Yep.
Preservation's desire, chapter 54. Preservation's desire to create sentient life was that eventually broke the stalemate. Was that what eventually broke the stalemate? In order to give mankind awareness and independent thought, Preservation knew that he would have to give up part of himself, his own soul, to dwell within mankind. This would leave him just a tiny bit weaker than his opposite, Ruin. That tiny bit seemed inconsequential compared to the total vast sums of power. However, over eons, this tiny flaw would allow Ruin to overcome Preservation, thereby bringing an end to the world. This, then, was their bargain. Preservation got mankind, the only creations that had more preservation than Ruin in them, rather than a balance. Independent life that could think and feel. In exchange, Ruin was given as a promise and proof that he could bring an end to all they had created together. It was the pact, and Preservation eventually broke it.
Now that part caught me. When I was listening to this, and it was like this whole thing, I was like, and then it said, and Preservation broke it. I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought for sure it was going to be, and Ruined it. It's like, nope, and Preservation broke it. I was like, what the? That was a good one. That was like a really great epigraph. So I loved it.
Yeah,
I like.
Thoughts?
I like. Oh man, when someone pulls a bait and switch on you, I love it. I'm like, okay.
Preservation broke the bargain for eons.
Yeah, how?
For eons. It doesn't go into how, but
nope.
It was Preservation's fault. They had a good deal going. Yep.
So Ruin had the promise that he could destroy everything whenever he wanted. Yeah. But Preservation was like, but I get mankind, I get all sentient life. And then Preservation ruined it, of all things. Yeah.
Done messed up, Aaron. You done messed up.
That's right.
So Vin awakes in chains.
Yep. Surprise. No. Surprise no one. Come on.
And immediately she's like, oh, they're metal chains. Awesome. And then she realizes she has no metals in her stomach at all to burn. And Yeoman's taking lots of precautions. And Yeoman comes in and explains all the precautions that he's taken.
Oh, yeah.
Basically to keep Vin from escaping.
Yep, like a Bond villain.
Oh, straight up, twirly mustache and all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, twirly eye tattoos. Just going through. Yeoman took Vin's earring to examine it, and he's confused by it. He's like, "It's silver, which is not an allometric metal, and there's bronze, but there's hardly any bronze in there. And bronze is the most useless because it's just the seeker. You got to hear it. Who cares about that?" Mm-hmm. He's like, "Why would an allometric carry this around?" And he can't figure it out, and Vin doesn't give him an answer. She's kind of defiantly just like, "Meh."
Yeah, none of your business.
So he gives it back to her, and she puts it on, and then immediately, like, Rue gets in her head, like, kill him now.
Yeah, man. Immediately. If we didn't have the theory from Will, this immediately puts it like right there in context.
Yeah. Right back in the head, like, come on, kill him.
Through her brother, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? Through her brother's voice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. One of Ellen's soldiers is there as well, and wants to, I guess, proof that Vin's okay. There are a lot of questioning him, but, there's all these rules around it as far as how she can answer and those kind of stuff. Yeah, first they have to verify that she's still alive and not a conjure impersonator. So they ask her, like, what would you have for breakfast or something like that the last day? Which is clever. They talked about how clever that question was because, if a conjure had memorized a bunch of stuff, they wouldn't go to.
Why do you remember that? Yeah.
No, why do they remember that? They remember a bunch of other stuff like conversations and things like that, but breakfast, yeah. So clever there. Yeah. And yeah. Anything from that before we get to Yeoman's final decoration?
No, let's go into that. Let's get into Yeoman.
Straight up Bond villain, where he's
absolutely.
he's like, so you're slated to be executed for the murder of the Lord Ruler. And she's like, what?
Yeah, of the Lord Ruler. That part caught me. I was like, the Lord Ruler? What?
What?
Okay.
She's like, why don't you just come right now? He's like, oh, yeah, we put, we live in a world of civilization here. We're civilized. We don't just go around murdering people. There's a due process to it. It's like, so I get trial. He's like, oh no, I'm the judge and jury. Like, no, that's You're not gonna get trial, but we're gonna go through the process and keep you alive, like a straight up Bond villain.
Yeah, man.
When it could just off you. Yeah. But he will allow her to speak in her defense. So she has like a couple, how many days or weeks or something like that to come with.
Oh yeah, right.
They give a time frame to come with a defense on, for killing the Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
And that's when Rowan also starts whispering again just to kill him. Just kill him.
Kill him. Yeah.
She can do it, Vin. Just kill him.
How? Thanks, Rowan. I appreciate appreciate the notes. How do I do that?
And if she tries to break out of her chains at all or tries to eat anything that's metal, the guards are instructed to kill her.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Rowan's just offering great advice so far.
Yeah. No, that's Rune's kind of go-to move. Kill everything.
Yeah. He's a one-trick pony. That's all he's got.
That's pretty much how this one ends. It's just, hey, you're slated for execution. Come with a good speech. Because we're going to let you speak before we kill you. If you're the judge, the jury, executor, why don't just kill her? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, in the real world, not in any kind of plot device world, they just shoot you. Like, there's if you get caught by a gang or anything like that, or any kind of there's no I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a plot armor device. It's like, let's give you an opportunity to get away. We're gonna make it look like things are really dire, but
and
really,
one thing if they had actually a court system and they actually had this whole thing in place. But no, he even says they don't. It's just him. So why?
I don't get it. Yeah. Is what it is.
And it is what it is. You need some plot armor. Vin can't die. So
right. You gotta give this kind of a cliffhanger chapter. I get it. No, but yeah, the thing does it really does all sound very sus.
It's a PR stunt.
PR stunt. Of course it is. It's all a PR stunt.
Everything is. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the fact that we get the confirmation about the big reveal, if Will had not sussed it out, is the earring piece. I really appreciate the fact that this is it's clear as day at this point in time. if we did not know before now we definitely know. So that was if you weren't paying attention, that would be an easy miss.
Sure.
If you think so much about this, this trial and everything, but really the big thing is ruined in the earring. That's the big thing. So,
right.
Yeah.
It happens in the book. I mean, almost immediately. But like you said, it's kind of, if you did not already suspect that, then it probably you could have passed by it. I implore you eventually to go back and reread lots of these books.
Oh, yeah. When I get an opportunity, when we start getting through all the theories and everything, and we start getting more and more the 16, blah, blah, blah. I really do want to go back, maybe because I know that the Wheel of Time books all have these chapter summary things and whatever. I would probably use something like that similar for the Cosmere books and be able to go
Sure.
back and just kind of like skim and see
Yeah.
like where stuff aligned,
Sure.
kind of get
Like
the
that.
reveals of like, oh, well, they talked about this thing so far back. It was
back.
always sitting there. We just missed the little breadcrumbs.
Yeah, because it wasn't the main part of what they were talking about at all. Like it's just
Yep.
kind of in the background, and
Yeah.
there's lots of stuff in these books, little breadcrumbs everywhere
Oh,
that you
yeah.
find that
Yeah.
even have bigger overarching outside of Mistborn that
Right.
are just sprinkled all in there, and it's just like holy crap.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's it for this week as far as the chapters go. Any thoughts or anything else that you had, or opinions, theories on where we're going?
Theories. I didn't really have any theories because, again, like we said earlier, the reason why we went through these chapters so quickly is because it's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
the only chapter that kind of went off of that straightforward narrative was the chapter with Spook.
Yeah,
it kind of brought
the preservation breaking the epigraph where the preservation broke the tap.
Well, yeah, now that part, that's the big bomb
Mhm.
of everything we read, and that was,
yeah,
man, that's got my mind spinning. I mean, again, it's such a heel turn. You think to yourself, it's always the villain that messes things up,
right?
And
Yeah.
it's not. And I'm like, oh crap. The non-villain actually screwed things up. I was like, how? Okay.
So
I loved it.
At this point, like, what are the mist? What's the mist spirit? What's because we haven't talked about the spirit in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we haven't seen the Mist Spirit.
Yeah, not in a while.
The last book, I think, right? I think the last book. Have we seen the Mist Spirit since then?
In this book? No, I think we've seen this book, but
we?
not much.
No, wait. It didn't Ellen see the Mist Spirit?
Yes, Ellen did.
Right. There you go. Okay, so there you go. All right.
But Vin was hunting it for a while. But that was last book. But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have. I mean, it does seem like preservation is really, if it's just the Mist Spirit, we haven't really seen much influence of preservation right now. We're seeing ruin everywhere, right?
Yeah. Why does the mist have it for the ska? It's only killing ska.
Yeah. Well, we got to find out more about that. I mean, obviously, now the ska is one of the original races.
Yeah.
It's not like ska was like, an engineered bio entity. Whereas a lot of others were.
Well, the nobles were all,
but the nobles
were all of Alamancers.
Nobles were created from ska basically, and just given Alamantic powers from the original,
which is of preservation.
Which is of preservation, right? So, but still, they're all related. They just have like elevated capabilities.
But ska don't have any preservation. They're not of preservation at all.
That's not true because preservation said all mankind.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. The pact. Yes.
Right.
You're right.
So I'm thinking that way. Now, if you're saying that's changed.
No, you're right.
Okay. Because I mean, again, I'm just telling you my interpretation. So I could easily be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm really curious about what preservation did to break the pact, number one. And number two, I'm still trying to understand why preservation's presence is so diminished.
Yeah.
I don't, it's just because I feel like it's like ruin this, ruin that, ruin impacting this thing, ruin impacting this world, ruin impacting this village, ruin impacting the Kolos, and I'm like, where's preservation in all of this? And I'm like, if it comes out to being hope, again, I'm gonna throw everything related to this book series through a window.
Yeah.
But I want to, like, where is it? What is it doing? If it's a yin and yang situation, and remember, it said in the epigraph, the preservation's influence was only a little bit less,
right,
than ruin.
But over eons, that gap
right
makes a
so
huge
is
difference.
it like now, like ruin is like here, and preservation's got like itty bitty.
Yeah.
What is that from Aladdin? Itty bitty living space.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Interesting. No. Oh. I got all the curiosity.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, favorite character?
Man. I came so close to almost saying your boy TenSoon. I came close. I came very close because of these 5 chapters. I kind of liked what he did the most. I don't forgive him, but I appreciate what he did,
I'll take it.
especially talking to the people. I came so close, so close. But my favorite person actually was Beldre.
Belgia. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Well,
she, the whole thing, she's talking about like the background and her dad and all. And I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, because I love a good fleshed out character. I feel like she was kind of getting the short end of the stick, and then I feel like she's kind of explaining what this guy. She's kind of coming back and explaining her piece. So I liked her.
yeah.
Yeah, but TenSoon came so close.
I'll give it TenSoon. That'll be my character because he was great. This.
Yep. He did. I mean, I'm not gonna knock it. He had a great chapter.
He did. He's working that redemption arc, man. He's trying.
He's trying. Again, I want to see him look right. Look me dead in the eye. Break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Alondo. He does that. He and I are good.
Well, next time we'll be doing 4 chapters, 55, 56, 57, 58. That takes us through the end of this part.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I think you said that this part was like 10 chapters.
Yeah, and then we have part 5, which is the final part, I think.
Oh wow, already.
Yeah.
No kidding.
We're getting there.
We are making some moves.
It's a very long part.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, it's like half the book is the final part.
Yeah, because I mean, even though we're like at chapter 54, there are so many of these chapters that are like short. So it sounds like we've like really like made crazy progress.
Well, it sounds like that, but then when you realize that this book has how many chapters in it? 82 plus an epilogue. Yeah, 82 plus an epilogue. So we're
but some of these chapters are like 9-minute reads.
Yeah, some of them are very short.
Some are crazy short. So
yeah, and that's why we're doubling our quadrupling and up even more. Yeah, quintillion up. Some of these chapters.
Right.
Because it's because they're so short, we can cover more chapters per week than we would before. Like in Final Empire, it was like 2 or 3 a week. We're doing like 5 because they're so short. But yeah, so.
Oh, got to go back to one thing that I don't know if it was Zool or somebody else that asked the question, who do you think is writing these epigraphs? I have now been obsessed about that, and I am no closer to an answer. I am no closer. I still feel like there's multiple authors, obviously.
Okay.
That's how I feel right now, and I'm standing by that until I'm told something different. But they're so all over the place. Some of the stuff is like recounting history. Some stuff is like now current time, and I'm like, I'm so perplexed.
They're
I can't wait.
Take it. They're not in chronological order, I don't think.
No. Again, they're so all over the place. I'm super curious about it. I really can't wait to find out or be able to figure out how it all comes together and everything. But looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Cosmic Connections. Okay, that's right. Yep, it was one of our guests.
Yeah,
but and it's a great question because now I'm obsessed thinking about it. Because then I went back and I started listening to some of because it's easy for me on the audiobooks to listen to the epigraphs because it's the first thing that plays.
Yeah.
So it's like it's easy for me just like rewind and just like listen to like a couple minutes. And but nothing right now. Is obviously pointing out like, oh, this is all being said by Sazed.
Sure.
Nothing right now is like pointing there. So
yeah, so we'll get through the Beautiful Destroyer. Part 4 will be done at the end of next week.
Don't forget, we need to go back at the end of the book and talk about the actual part titles and understand what they're about.
Well, this one, I think this one we talked about, but we have to go back and do the other ones. Yeah.
Yes. At some point in time.
Yeah. And just for a little housekeeping, I know I should have done this at the beginning. I'll talk about it next week too, because in 2 weeks, Sunday actually falls in Easter Sunday. And I think I'm free, but I have to still check like whether they're doing Easter dinner or something like that with family. I don't know.
Okay.
But we still have to put kids to bed, so I think I'm still able to record Easter Sunday. But
If you can't, that's fine. I mean,
if we have to switch things around, we might switch things around. I don't know. We'll see.
okay. Yeah, we can always do the other day, like we did that one time. It's like Super Bowl Sunday. We
Yeah,
switched
it was
to
Super
Saturday.
Bowl. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Anyway, how we can be found is at thecosmereads.com. You find all sorts of cool things like links to our website, or there's a website, links to our Discord, our merchandise, Patreon, all that fun stuff. Also, as I have to say, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Helps with the algorithms. Write reviews, do all the fun things, and I think that's pretty much all I got for this week. So until next time, guys.
Thank you for watching the Cosmere Reads.
Gosh dang, gosh, fresh. Gosh dang, gosh dang, fresh.